Hey, good morning, girl. It's May 2nd, 2019. I just want to welcome you into my presence today. Thank you very much for making me a part of your life and a part of your day this morning. It's approximately 6:30 in the morning, and actually it's 7:30 in the morning. A little late today. I hope you're doing well. It is a Thursday, and we're getting ready for an amazing week. At least I'm getting ready for an amazing week. I got tons of amazing stuff going on. By the way, I just have been listening this morning to Taylor Swift's new single for what will presumably be her new album, and the single is entitled "Me!" exclamation point, and I like it. I'm enjoying it. I think I've pretty much played it all this morning. Uh, I'm kind of a Swiftie. Do you know what a Swiftie is, Em? A Swiftie is a Taylor Swift fan. I know. I'm a Swiftie. And I was thinking today about how neat it would be to go to a Taylor Swift concert. I think I'd totally like to do that. If you are up to a Taylor Swift concert, let me know, girl, because I think I'm up for it. And I think she lives in LA, right? Or New York, or Nashville. I don't know where. She's probably just a citizen of the planet, as much as she moves around. But I have a feeling that she does a lot of performances in Southern California. So I'm there. I'm thinking, let's go see this. I would definitely like to see a Taylor Swift concert. And I'm sure she's going to be playing in Los Angeles and San Diego or San Francisco when she releases her newest album, which I think will be coming soon, which is great. I can't believe the new album is already being dropped again from Taylor Swift, because it seems like Reputation was just released yesterday. I guess that was like 3 years ago. Love that album. I think that's one of my favorite albums, the Reputation album from Taylor Swift. So anyway, if you have an interest in going to a Taylor Swift concert, let me know, and I'll keep my eye out for venues and events that are happening soon. Speaking of venues and events happening soon, I got an awesome weekend lined up. I am going to judge for the local science fair, the local high school science fair this coming Friday night. And then Saturday, I'm going to Shabang Music and Art Festival. So that's awesome. I think I'm going to dress up for this one. I think I might dye my hair and probably use some kind of tattoo or face ink, or who knows? Maybe I'll go glitter this time. Who knows? I need to throw together a nice music festival costume. And this might be the time and the place to get it started, to get that whole thing started. So let's see what else is going on in my life. Get my braces off. All this stuff I've talked about. Let's talk about what the title of this video is about. The title is, how much trouble did I get into during my school days? So this is when I start digging the dirt. No, I'm just kidding. There's really no dirt to dig. So here's the thing. I started out as kind of a class clown when I was in high school. Actually, you know what? I'm going to talk about my entire school career, and I'm going to divide it up into elementary, middle school, junior high, high school, and college. So I did not get into any. I think during the grade school years, first, second, third, fourth, fifth grade. First, second, third, fourth grade. If you could describe me as anything, I think it would be somewhat social. I think I probably talked a lot during class to my friends. I would guess that I probably talked a lot. And so did I get in trouble? I think I might have gotten in trouble once or twice, maybe 3 times. I think I was really, I think I was more social, say between my first and second grade, kindergarten, first, second grade. Definitely quite a social kid. And then I think I calmed down third grade. Third grade was really tough for me. I think I was pretty silent in third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. I started finding my voice more again in sixth and seventh grade. But that's when I was starting to really get into science and math. And in fact, that interest in science and math would catapult me to getting my physics degree eventually. So yeah, I think I can honor Miss Lee, my science teacher, my sixth grade science teacher, for really helping me isolate science as being one of the main themes of my life. And at least I think she probably sparked it a little bit. But I didn't get in trouble. In fact, I was very studious, very much a learner in sixth and seventh grade. Yeah, I was just definitely really focused on school, and that's what I was all about. I was about school, and I loved it. Yeah, I was also about learning my musical instrument in band. I was playing the trumpet. I just didn't get in trouble. I got in trouble most, say, during kindergarten, first, second grade, than I did most of my grade school career. Now, when high school came around, did I get in trouble through high school? I started finding my voice again around ninth and 10th grade. Definitely found my voice in ninth or 10th grade. In fact, I was considered the class clown. I think at least in my honors English class in my freshman year of high school and sophomore year of high school. I sort of toned down my sophomore year in high school because I think that was the year when I started really taking the death of my 6-year-old brother sort of weighed kind of hard on me. So my sophomore year was pretty low key. So freshman year, I was raucous and joyful. Sophomore year, less raucous and joyful. Now, did I get in trouble? I think during my freshman year, I probably did get a little bit undue attention from the teachers. I was really having a good time. I really loved my freshman and sophomore years of high school. And I also was a part of a lot of extracurricular activities. I was part of a academic decathlon. I did that for a number of years, which is a trivia competition. Usually a lot of the smart trivia focused students, the studious students, were into those academic decathlon competitions. And then I also did another competition, computer programming competition, where we got into teams and we programmed in Pascal, and I think we could program in any language we wanted to program in. And it was just a computer science competition. That was good. There was also another kind of competition. It was another kind of it was a trivia competition. It's called the New GNU. I don't know what that was about, but I think that was another competition. So these were like Trivial Pursuit team competitions related to STEM, science, and things like that. So I was into that. So I was basically a science geek, and I didn't get into trouble. And I got into less trouble as I grew older, as a sophomore in high school, junior in high school, and senior in high school. So that I didn't get into trouble. And then I was super studious in college, particularly my first 2.5 years. I was just number one student trying to put in the hours, and I put in a lot of hours studying, completely focused on my studies for a good 2.5 years. Then I loosened up. My third, fourth, fifth year of college, I relaxed a little. I think I had pushed myself a little much in my first 2.5 years of college. So did I get into trouble in college? No, I was still studious. I was really just trying to hang on. I was trying to finish up my bachelor's degree in physics and math. And I was just, I went through a few, excuse me, a few changes in major. I started out as a physics major. I changed to philosophy major, and then psychology major. I think I did physics to psychology to philosophy back to physics again. So I changed my major a couple times, changed direction a little bit, but I returned back to physics. Fact is, I wanted to graduate. It just would have taken a long time for me to graduate in philosophy. And it turned out that my psychology classes weren't as enjoyable as I had hoped that they would be. Now, I love psychology. Truly love it. It's something I do in my pastime all the time. I read about all the different theoretical schools, and I love that. I love learning about cognitive behavioral therapy and all of its strains, all of its variations, and motivational interviewing, client-centered therapy. I'm all into that. Commitment and acceptance and commitment therapy, totally into that. But you know what? I think I like it because of the abstract, theoretical nature of the thinking. I really don't see myself as a clinician, right? Sitting down with other people, them describing their problems to me, and me working to help them solve their problems, to alleviate their distress. That is not a role that I seek out. I don't seek out that role. I think I commend psychotherapists who do that for a living. I think it is a brave job to do something like that, to sort of expose your mind to, people who are struggling. And my heart goes out to them and all that they do. And I think of it as sort of being on the front lines. And it just seems, for me, that's not my forte. Although it could possibly be more for my forte, because I tend to be, even when I don't intend to be, I tend to be somewhat inspiring and motivating. I think that's my personality type. And so I'm grateful for the qualities of my personality, this significant character trait, where I can be inspiring and helpful in, say, improving other people's mood. I think is something that comes naturally to me. I don't necessarily want or need to make money from it. I'm actually a little bit afraid. I'm afraid that if I turn that part of my personality, which I value so much, into a money-making opportunity about my profession, I have a feeling that it might sort of change me. I know. Here's the thing. When you start getting paid for something that you enjoy, it can go two ways, right? You can start thinking of what you enjoy as being work, or you can just start start feeling grateful that you get paid to do something that comes natural to you. Now, I'm not sure which one would apply to me. I'm maybe the latter would probably apply to me if I went into psychology. Here's the thing. I am really aware of how people can reinforce each other's behavior. And, if I'm living life in a high mood, high vibrational state, that's a metaphor, by the way. If I'm living my life at a high vibrational state, why would I even step foot in the same room with a person who is in a low mood? Why? Why would I do that to myself? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's actually a big part of the reason why I wouldn't want to be a therapist, because let me tell you, people are made up of who they hang around with. And if you hang around with disturbed people all the time, that cannot be good for your psyche. The fact is, human brains are continually learning from their environment. They're continually getting trained, right? We're continuously getting conditioned by our environment. I mean everything we do, every even supposedly minor decision that we make, whether we linger in bed for an extra 2 minutes, whether we take a shower for an extra 5 minutes. These are things that our brain is aware of, paying attention to, and is fixing to replicate in the future as part of a pattern. And these patterns are subtle. They cover everything from the sleep, awake and sleep cycles, to what you eat for dinner, the timing, about when you use the bathroom, and wow, all kinds of things. Whether every thought really is learned. It's a function of the conditioning of your environment and your automatic thoughts and your, what I'd call your executive faculties. It's all there. It's continuous. There's continuous change, continuous modification, continuous learning. Our brain is continuously acting and reacting to the stimuli in our external environment, and it never ends. It never stops. And so the key is to develop good habits, good mental habits, good physical habits, and continuously improve, adapt, rehearse, develop those habits, those behaviors, thought behaviors, and physical behaviors. So, and for me, that's the whole point of life. And I would really not lock myself in a room with someone who is having trouble, doesn't quite get it. So I think that's probably one of the most powerful reasons that I'm not a psychotherapist. I want to help people too, and I do. I know I help, but I help people in subtle ways. One of the most important ways that I help people is through the power of listening. A lot of the time, people just need to express themselves. And this cathartic response, I think people crave it. They crave catharsis. And they want people to ask them meaningful questions. They want to have meaningful conversations. And I do my best to ask questions that I think will touch people on a deep level. And I think these are the greatest gifts that you can give people. The gift of helping them to express themselves authentically in the moment, and the gift of helping them release through catharsis some of their sort of shadow thoughts. And so I help people daily. I just don't help them in a professional capacity. I like it that way. To operationalize it all, in a workplace setting, getting paid money to do it. Man, I can't think of anything that would take the wind out of my sails more. I'm serious. In fact, I was talking to a psychotherapist just last week, right? So it turns out that she and I really love this theory in psychology called motivational interviewing. This is a theory I've just been enjoying. I love to contemplate it and consider its abstract implications. I love to talk about it with other people. And I'm always seeking out people to talk about the subject with. And I did find 2 people in a room, hooray, who were interested in the same subject matter as I, motivational interviewing, the subject I'm interested in. And I was talking to her. She's a psychotherapist, she's a pro, right? And she was open to talking about psychotherapy, but she also was honest about how she didn't really want to. And here's why. It's because she did it every day at her job, right? So, hey, I get it. That's perfectly okay. No problemo. So my point is that she does it every day. It's an important subject, but she's lost her passion for it. Now, she may still be passionate about it. Hey, I get it. But again, it's something she does every day, and who wants to talk about work, right? Who wants to talk about work? I know. I get it. I wouldn't want to talk about work in a social context either. So that's fine. So all I'm doing is echoing this idea that, man, I'm kind of glad that I never went into therapy as a profession. Although that's untrue because, or I should say it's only partly true. I think I probably could thrive in that environment. I don't know. I just have to find my niche, I think. I don't know what my niche would be, really, in the realm of psychology. Don't know. Anyway, I'm happy where I'm at anyway. Doing psychology in sort of part-time and a past, as part of my, in my free time is probably good enough. Oh yeah, totally good enough. All right, man. So I'm curious about what's going on in your life. What are you doing these days? I'm curious if you're working on anything new. I wonder if you've got any plans for your birthday coming up. That's right, you're gonna be 15 years old. Holy cow, I can't believe it. Time sure is flying. Dang, 15. Oh my goodness. That is, oh man, you're getting so old. No, don't worry about you because I've got some age goals that I'm meeting soon. It's the month of May. I'm going to be turning 48 this year. That's right. 2 years shy of a half century. I'll be 48 years old later this month. Wow. That's amazing how time flies. And that's great. I mean, I really recognize that as a serious accomplishment. I'm so pleased that I made it this far. Really, it's amazing that I'm still alive, considering how I've struggled through problems like health problems like pneumonia and depression. But I'm back, man. I'm back, stronger than ever. Truly stronger than ever, physically and mentally stronger than I've ever been in my life. Definitely doing well, at least by my own lights. I'm doing quite well, and so pleased that I've made it to where I am. Yeah, super stoked, and that my life is actually the best it's ever been. Oh yeah, and It makes me wonder, Emily, what your life might be when you're 50 years old. I can only imagine how outrageous your life's going to be. Holy cow, in 50 years? Actually, you're 15, right? And so that means 45 years? Yeah. Yeah. No. 35 years? 35? 35, 40. That's right. 35 years. So what will your life be in 35 years? Man, I can only imagine. With technology improving and even the social environment, I feel the social environments are really changing for the better. We're at least in our society, in our global society, we're making some huge changes, and um, things are looking really good. For example, acceptance of alternative lifestyles in general. All these alternative lifestyles are becoming more acceptable. That's great because that means more freedom and more happiness that can be shared among people with differences. Wow, that's really a big thing. Um, really grateful for all the changes that are happening in our social environment. I think it's being accompanied by some other changes that I don't know. They have to all work themselves out. I think what's happening is that maybe some older people are getting a voice, and I know the political discourse is pretty shallow these days. Um, but it might be that there might be some benefit to it. I'm really not sure what it is. Hopefully, it'll be like a pendulum swing, and the pendulum swing in political discourse will start swinging the other way. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that that'll happen in the near term. I think it's what's happening now will be a good counterpoint to what the future will bring. I have an idea that people and politicians will be able to use this age, this last say 4 years or so, as a sort of touchstone. They'll be able to talk about it. Oh yeah, remember those years uh, when political discourse was sort of at a low. I think that I think it'll be a good counterpoint. Everybody will be able to recognize it, like, oh yeah, like sort of a recession in terms of political thought. Sometimes you have to have recessions, financially and in the thought realm. And I think better days are ahead. So I was considering and imagining what your life would be like 35 years from now. And man, I really hope I'm alive to enjoy the spectacle that your life will be. I mean, it'll just be, I've got this vision of it as just amazing. I think you're going to be an amazing person, Em. I know. So honored to be your dad. So honored to be a part of your world. Yeah. And I have a feeling that, and I don't know what 35 years in the future is going to be, but I have a sense that it's going to involve lots of artificial intelligence. It's going to involve lots of like audio, visual, video, virtual reality type technology. I certainly believe there'll be a lot more robots and autonomous vehicles moving around. Certainly you won't be driving, and your workplace will be on your person somehow. Like it'll be on your cell phone. Your cell phone will basically be your connection to the world. But it's not going to be in your cell phone. It'll be in your glasses and your contact lenses, or it'll be like a brain implant. I know in 35 years it'll be like that. I'm like, totally. And then you'll have your personal robots. It's going to be like Star Wars, man. It's going to be better than Star Wars. We'll have our own C3PO and R2D2, and they'll be cooking our cooking our dinner, and it's just going to be awesome. We may not even cook food anymore in 35 years. I have a sense this 3D technology, this 3D what is it? Molding or building technology, 3D deposition technology, a 3D manufacturing, printed. I forget what is 3D printer. 3D printer technology is gonna go gangbusters. People will be 3D printing human organs, 3D printing food choices, 3D printing, you name it. Everything's going to be 3D printed. Your car is going to be 3D printed. Your house is going to be 3D printed. Who knows? Your electronics will be 3D printed. I don't know what's going to be 3D printed, but people will be 3D printed. Animals will be 3D printed. Everything's going to be 3D printed, man. And so there won't even be stores. Chances are you'll have the manufacturing facility in your own home, man. Or it'll be a 3D printer store nearby, and you can get literally anything you want, whether it's food or some kind of structure. And everything will be custom. I can imagine just everything custom, how you want it. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Life in 35 years. And what else is going to be amazing is I'm pretty sure that in 35 years, we will have really figured out cancer, Alzheimer's, and heart disease. And I mean, once we get those, and type 2 diabetes, once we get type 2 diabetes, cancer, heart disease, obesity solved, and we can definitely do it in 35 years, we are going to be pretty awesome, in good shape. And not only that, I have a sense that in 35 years, we'll really have our global environment under control. I think it'll be in pretty good control. We'll really, really be figuring out this the technology to get our carbon dioxide problem satisfied in our atmosphere. We'll definitely work. In 35 years, we'll have a solid plan with goals that we can meet, and with technologies that help assist us to get there. I think we'll definitely be there in 35 years. So that's great. Now, I think it probably is too late to stop a lot of the melting of the polar ice caps. I know. So I think we're in for lots of water rising over the land. And we're going to lose a lot of acreage around our coastal cities. Yeah, we're going to lose it to the ocean. Yeah, I think the ocean is, that water is going to be a good 5-10 feet higher than it is by the end of the century. I don't think there's anything that we can do about that. We're just going to have to call that a loss. These greenhouse gases were just too insidious and too powerful for us to control early on. And we were, as a civilization, just not strong enough to pick up on the signals in time. And, regrettably, it will mean huge losses in terms of biodiversity. And, the sixth extinction will get quite underway. But, I think we'll be able to forestall a lot of the big problems, and we'll be well on our way to answering those problems in 35 years. Anyway, the message that I'm suggesting to you is one of optimism. I think we'll definitely have it well under control. Human beings are great at controlling their environments. Just look at this environment. I'm protected from the sun, protected from the wind, protected from cold temperatures, not protected from really hot temperatures. Hey, I live in Southern California, man. So I don't have to worry too much about air conditioning, right? Well, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I am going to steal away. I have got to return. I've got to go to work, and I hope you have a wonderful day today. I am so pleased, like I mentioned, that you're a part of my life, and I am fully committed to our relationship, maintaining it and sustaining it, making it the best that it can be, and helping us develop into the amazing people we were destined to become. All right, girl. Well, I'll talk to you later. I hope you have a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend, and I love you. Peace out, girl.